Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
And had to unmute myself. Hello there, welcome to Open Mic America. I am Mike Simpson. I'm going to be your MC for the evening. Chris Steele is our interviewer, and Dave Williams is our engineer. Now, Dave Williams is both the founder of this wonderful show and also the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, which you're going to hear more about later. Our mission is to support you and your local open mics, where you can go in person to see songwriters performing their original music. Tonight, thanks to this technology, we get to travel all around the country and see those same performers in their own living rooms. Without gimmicks and frills, this is the DNA of American music. It's a tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. Now, I don't see any fans in the audience today, but sometimes we do have fans. If we did, they'd have them wave. Okay, let me introduce everybody here. Our performers, if you guys would wave as I say your names. Hank Stone from East Patchogue, New York. Mav Asya from Alameda, California. Dan and Faith from Charleston, New Hampshire. Dave Fiebert from Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Jon Burrowes from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pat Buckner from Powell River, British Columbia. Cowboy Bob Uvello from Boston, Massachusetts. And without a whole lot of hesitation here, let's go to our first performer, Hank Stone. Hank Stone is a gentleman who, if I could remember to do what I'm supposed to do here, there we go. Hank Stone, what is your open? Oh yes. He goes to the new North Shore Original Open Mic at Cinema Arts Center in Huntington, New York. And of course here on Open Mic America. Hank, take it away.
Sure. First, I just want to say I've got a brand new CD, an album out called Pie for Breakfast. And we could talk about that later. I'm not going to do any of the songs from it today because I like to be seasonal. And this is a Christmas song that I wrote last year. It's basically for the time after Christmas, when all the music stops and like the day after Christmas, you kind of lose the feeling. Just urges people to remember the gift. The holidays mean to you when the lights are all unplugged and packed away, when January's cold seeps deep into your bones and it seems the dirty snow is here to stay. Where have all the angels and the wise men gone as the shepherds watch their wandering flocks turn blue? How can the solstice promise keep the dark abyss at bay, while that bright star's after image fades away from you? Try to remember the story. Try to remember the gift, the innocent submission and the nodding gratitude amid the friction and the drag you'll feel the lift. Remember the gift. Remember the gift. can you keep your candle flame from faltering when Tannenbaum has been kicked to the curb? The wind will stir no ripples on the frozen pond as hibernating critters then say don't disturb. Hope lies in the root cellar, safe and warm, where you've stowed away the merry and the Auld Lang Syne, a picture book left open on the children's desk. I'm hearing something. I'm hearing some other music. Is somebody off mute? Okay, let me do that last part. Hope lies in the root cellar, safe and warm, where you've stowed away the merry and the Auld Lang Syne, a picture book left open on the children's desk recalls to you the journey of the grand design. Try to remember the story. Try to remember the gift, the innocent submission and the nodding gratitude amid the friction and the drag. You'll feel the lift. Remember the gift. Remember the gift. Remember the gift.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, good one. I like that.
Nice tune.
So I'm going to do another. This is fairly new. It was written from a prompt, and I don't remember what the prompt was, but it's called The Language of Joy. Look up, see the blue sky. Look down, see buds sprout from soil. See the newborn with wide eyes and the bountiful fruits of our sweat and toil. And sure, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Hear the beat of the dancer's heels as shadows pulse on the walls of the cave. Textured fabrics tease our fingers. We are surfing a permanent wave. And tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. How do we translate our daily breath into the language of joy, the language of joy? How do you give somebody courage as they cower from shades in the night? One way to minimize their fear is to point their eyes towards the light and show them how you feel. Show them how you feel. How do we translate our daily breath into the language of joy, the language of joy.
Right, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice, Hank.
Well, I understand that the holidays are a time for forgiveness, so let me apologize to Hank Stone for that little accidental sidebar there. I will attempt not to do that to anybody else here. And Hank, we're going to have you come in and be interviewed with Chris Steele.
Thanks very much, Mike. And Hank, that was just absolutely glorious. First of all, I'm going to embarrass Mike one more time here, just in terms of I'm a Jersey boy. I'm not, and I know that Patchogue has actually said not the way that Mike said. So did I have it right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for.
I should always, every time I appear, somebody has troubles with it, and I understand. So I should really mention it ahead of time, but I forgot to. So
I spent time out on Long Island. Yeah, we get taught. That last song, I was looking through some of your stuff, and you described your style really as kind of pop folk. And as I was thinking about that, I was picturing this almost like with a Byrds arrangement to it, with the harmonies to it, and it just sounds beautiful. When did you really start getting the songwriting bug? What really influenced you when you started to come to it?
I came to it early on, when listening to stuff in my teens and 20s, Beatles, Stones, Dylan, everything else, Van Morrison, Jackson Brown, Grateful Dead, everything that was out there in the rock and folk world. And I just started writing my own stuff, and after a while I got a little better at it. And and I didn't really start playing out on the acoustic scene until 2000 or so, about 25 years ago. And I found a wonderful community out here on Long Island where we a lot of songwriters that we back each other up, and it's it's just been a good mutual connection.
No, I get it. I guess I'm a little bit curious. I mean, obviously you got a real talent there that you've worked on, and it comes through in the songs, both of which that we heard tonight here, which is absolutely wonderful. I want to ask you about the other one here in a second. But what was it about the early 2000s that finally decided you to get it? Had you played in bands beforehand, or just was there something you just got to a point where you just had to let it out?
I played in bands, in the late 70s and into the 80s, and then I kind of dropped out of the music scene for a while, raising a family and a lot of different issues going on. But I always kept playing and writing, for myself. And I figured, well, these songs ought to be heard. So once the situations had changed and I was able to come out on a regular basis, I found this community, and it's been wonderful.
No, I can understand that. I mean, certainly, the songs that you're writing, it sounds like you're writing them for you, but it also sounds like you're writing for them because they might mean something to somebody else that's out there. And I was actually thinking this great segue into the other song as it happens. Just the Remember the Gift song. As I hear that, it's really kind of it's a song of gratitude. And as opposed to other holiday songs, which are all kind of about the anticipation and the build-up and the celebration in the moment, yours is a lot more about kind of the celebrating the things that have been and kind of the appreciation. I'm curious how you came to that.
Well, I've been writing a lot of holiday songs. I've probably got enough for an album right now, but this one, last year at some point, I think it was, again, it was a prompt. We were in a songwriting group where we meet, and we have our aim is to write 21 songs every year, and we pretty much do it. And I said, well, should I write another Christmas song? And the gift was, the prompt was, I forgot now. I got a little distracted for a minute. Whatever it was, I just said, let me come at it from a different view instead of the anticipation, as you said.
Right.
What happens afterwards? Because I've always thought, like on December 26th, all of a sudden the radio disappears, all the Christmas music. And was the spirit supposed to go away too? We're supposed to remember that, and that was the impetus for that. So I use a lot of the Christmas imagery, but in what happens next, you're packing the lights away,
Eating all the leftover cheese. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And so let me just, speaking of this, and because actually it kind of fits into that too, in terms of the leftovers, pie for breakfast. Where did that come from?
I was in a good place that day. I was all packed up and ready to go to a festival the next day, and I just sat down with the guitar and said, "Let me just write something happy." You know, you have couples arguing and breaking up, and the song came out as about a couple that's up all night discussing things, and then they patch things up by the morning, and they decide to have breakfast, and it's the only thing they find is pie, so they just have to, you know. So it's a celebratory thing, and people seem to like the song, so we decided to make it the title of the album. And there's a lot of different songs on here too, besides that. So,
Well, I'll look forward to hearing that. Well, thank you again for being with us, and stick around. I'm looking forward to some of these other acts as well.
I am too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mike, back to you.
Right, here I am. Yep. All right, so next up we have Mav Asya, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody else is muted for you. Mav, you'll need to unmute for us and then play.
Okay. How's everyone doing today? My name is Mav Asya, and I've got this first one's called I'm Glad We Tried. This was a song I started writing somewhere back in 2014-ish, and I just didn't know what to do with it until I met up with another group of songwriters, and they kind of gave me their opinions about what it was about, and it really resonated. So it's called I'm Glad We Tried. Well, I rolled out of bed today. I was worried about tomorrow, and syndicated yesterday's played over in my mind. Now I gotta get on my way. I got a docket full of sorrow, going past the expiration date. All the painful things you say stay fresh inside. It's not your job to ask if everything is okay. It's not your problem, but you try to fix it anyway. And though I died inside each time you crossed that line, well, I'm glad we tried. Well, I heard what you said today through the smoke and misdirection. How a little drop of rain became the biggest tempest of my time. Oh, I wish I could get away, but it's not my predilection. So my body and brain, they'll play your game, and I got nothing left to lose, so I'll let it slide. You're not my God, but maybe it's a role that you play. You're not my conscience, but I listen to you anyway. And though I died inside each time you crossed that line, well, I'm glad we tried. Well, I'm glad we tried. Got a little further away, get a little closer, closer every day. Figuring there ain't no rules anyway. Figuring the distance fading away. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. When I look back on all I've changed, I tell you about the future. How the promise that I've lost away gonna last a long, long time. got emotional bills to pay. Every paper cut needs a suture. There's so much more I'd like to say, but if I keep it to myself, at least you'll be fine. It's not so bad. I got a little carried away. It's not so tragic. It's better than the other ways. And though I died inside each time you crossed that line, I'm still glad we tried. Well, I'm glad we tried. Well, I'm glad we tried. I'm glad we tried. Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
Very nice.
that's fun.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Thank you. I'm gonna play this one. It's called When She Dreams. I wrote this a few months ago. Contained inside, behind her shrouded eyes, not known who was there, what secrets lie behind, who does she see deep inside, how real is her fantasy, here in the dark, just along for the ride, trying to solve the mystery of who she sees when she dreams. Intrigued, I stray, I wonder what I'd find within my own. A thrill could leave me high. Who would I see deep inside if I engaged in a fantasy? Here in the dark, just along for the ride, trying to solve the mystery of who she sees when she dreams. When she dreams. When she dreams. Imagination takes me away from the place where shadows fall. A revelation breaks the day like the storm before the call. Oh, I cave, I fall, I find, to my surprise, her face, her soul, her gaze, it answers mine. In my mind, all I see is her eyes. This is my fantasy. Here in the dark, just along for the ride, trying to solve the mystery of who she sees when she dreams. 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 When she dreams.
Oh, beautiful.
Right. Mav Asya, you indicated that you go to a couple of places familiar to me. I live not too far from you. He plays live at the Fireside Lounge in Alameda, California. Hey, is that a once a month?
That's actually their open mic is weekly, and it's every Wednesday night, and it's a pretty motley crew they've got there, so it's a lot of fun usually. I try to get there once a month. There's usually
Cool.
other conflicts, but yeah.
And then the West Coast Songwriters Association, people I've been in and around for many, many years, is at the Monkey House in Berkeley, California, which is held at Gilman Brewing in Berkeley. And
Yeah.
so, without any further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Chris Steele for your interview.
Thanks very much, Mike. And for those of you that are, kind of strangers to the magic of show business, we've been doing a little bit of technical stuff behind the scenes here to make sure that we've got our full lineup actually in place. Mav, that was fantastic. I should let everybody know here, the viewers, that this is Mav's first time here with us on Open Mic America. And that was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound there. You've got. I was actually trying to familiarize myself with your stuff before the show here, and I came across your SoundCloud page, and just it's so bright and poppy and like really kind of wonderful. I guess a kind of a similar question. What really inspires you in terms of songwriting? How did you come to this in the first place?
Yeah, thank you for checking out my SoundCloud, and yeah, I think bright and poppy about describes it. I started trying to write, something like 25 years ago when I was starting out with a local a cappella group in the San Francisco area, and we had a very bright and poppy sound. So I think that really kind of influenced me in that direction in that way. I've written much more in the last 3 to 4 years, post-pandemic, and there was a cross-country move and, a divorce and, all this stuff. So, like, there was a lot of life events that play into a lot of this.
Inspiration, yes.
Being on dating apps after that is always inspiration. So, yeah, so it's mostly drawing from life experience in the last few years.
So you were playing with others before that. How long have you been playing on your own? I was actually taking a look. I see your name mentioned a couple of different places, so I was curious.
Yeah, on my own, really it has just been the last 3 years or so. And there's a wonderful group of songwriters in the Bay Area. So like, I've been fortunate. I actually just was on fortunate to be asked. I feel like to do a harmony for another songwriter in the area named Dylan Camp on a track he just released. So like any sort of collaboration attempts that people want to do, I'm happy to be a part of.
That's awesome. I was actually in for I'm Glad We Tried, the first song that you played. Again, I love the rhythm to it, and I love the energy that's in there. There's something, St. Vincent, which is a name that we don't actually bring up here in Open Mic America very often, said something about songwriting, which is you go with a certain thing that actually lets people know exactly where you're going, and then you change their minds. And there are some different parts during that, especially during the pre-chorus, where it seems like you've kind of learned that lesson along the way. And I'm wondering if that was kind of intentional to that. Just there's so much more of the song. It's just like every you're very comfortable, familiar. You're bopping along, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, this went a different way.
Yeah. So this is where I struggled for years on this song because I had basically the whole thing written except for like the title, except for I'm Glad We Tried. I was like, I did not know what the song was about, which was a little disconcerting, frankly, because it was like I liked what I had, but I didn't know how to close it. And it was actually with this songwriters. There's a meetup group called 510 Musicians Collaborative, which I now run. But at the time, the person running it had set up some songwriters meetups. It was somebody in that group who made a suggestion of like, well, hey, how about if you, in your last verse, you kind of have some like, hey, maybe it wasn't so bad and all this stuff. And like, why don't you try bringing that into the chorus? And that's what actually did it. Like, by a week later, I had it written. So again, I'll just point to the power of collaboration there where I think that's what the song needed, really. It couldn't just be a rant,
Completely.
I mean, I guess it could have been, but like,
Well, it could be, and we have plenty of those, and they are very
Right.
wonderful in their own places. But
Right,
I appreciate what you did. Well, listen, Matt, thanks so much for being with us. We look forward to having you here again sometime, hopefully real soon.
I look forward to it.
And in
Thank
the
you so
meantime,
much.
Mike, I'll throw it back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. We're going to move now. A little journey around the country. We're going to go for Dan and Faith, and Dan and Faith are from me trying to bring my thing up here again. Boy, I am bumbling today. I'm sorry, I just can't get it there. Ta-da! Sorry, I'm having a technical trouble of my own here.
We can help on that score.
Okay, tell us where you're from.
We're in Charlestown, New Hampshire. We always are. It's our tweaking Mike on that. It's not Charleston, it's Charlestown. Massachusetts has a Charleston, as do other places.
Actually, Massachusetts, it's Charlestown too.
And
Is
you
it?
play Joe Isaacs' Music Matters Showcase, right?
Yes,
did, yeah.
we were on that last week, I think.
You're also at the Parish Center for the Arts in Westford, Massachusetts, right?
We consider that our home open mic. We moved away from that area, but we go back there whenever we can, and we've featured there many times. It's really where we got our start on stage.
All right. Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's hear you.
All right, a little. Given that today is the solstice, we figured we would pull out our one and only holiday song.
Ready?
Yep.
Sit by the fire, warm up your toes, cozy inside as winter winds blow. A big orange cat asleep in your lap, flames dancing round the hearthstones. Bright moon is shining, reflecting on snow, trees frosted white, bending so low. A glass of fine cider shared in good cheer, welcome the close of the year. Chase away darkness, join in our song. Hand in hand, our voices are strong. Chase away darkness, sing to the sky. Celebrate solstice tonight. A mighty storm's brewing, piling up snow. Inside we're warm by firelight glow. Gathered together with family and friends, sing as another year ends. Chase away darkness, join in our song. Hand in hand, our voices are strong. Chase away darkness, sing to the sky. Celebrate solstice tonight. We come to this place from many lands, here to find light, walk hand in hand. Those who divide us need love most of all. Let peace be our siren call. Chase away darkness, join in our song. Hand in hand, our voices are strong. Chase away darkness, sing to the sky. Celebrate solstice tonight. Peace and goodwill, that's where love begins. Witnessing souls, not the color of skin. The goodness of all reflects in our hearts. Hatred won't tear us apart. Chase away darkness, join in our song. Hand in hand, our voices are strong. Chase away darkness, sing to the sky. Celebrate solstice tonight. Chase away darkness, join in our song. Hand in hand, our voices are strong. Chase away darkness, sing to the sky. Celebrate solstice tonight. Celebrate solstice tonight.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Great harmonies.
Faith's going to switch instruments for the next one. This one that she wrote. I wrote Solstice
11 years ago.
11 years ago. We'll talk about that later. She's going to get onto the ukulele. This is the newest song in our repertoire. We just we're finishing up a recording of this.
Which will hopefully be on a recording project sometime before the end of 2026. We'll see if we can pull that off. And we just put our last album out in 2024, and it's been doing pretty well. We're pretty happy with it. So this one came from an interview that we listened to with Allison Russell, who had just come off playing Persephone in Hadestown for 3 months on Broadway, and she made a comment during her keynote that I immediately wrote down because as I said, I can do something with this. So thank you, Allison Russell. It's called Shining. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. When the world around us is crazy and it seems like it's falling apart, I welcome your calm sense of purpose, your stillness and open heart. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? As we march into times of trouble and tempers flare left and right, I swallow my fear when you're with me and follow you into the light. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? How do we keep from hating? How do we hold on to love when forces of anger pull us down? How can we rise above? I welcome your steady guidance on how to cope and stand tall. I pray with your good example we can hold on to hope through it all. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that we're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? As bright as the sun in the sky.
Oh, thank you for that. Excellent. Well, I'm going to turn you guys over to the tender mercies of our Chris Steele.
Mike's really making me out here to be kind of a demon. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Dan and Faith, it is really lovely to hear you play again. It's always wonderful to be able to hear you. I really appreciate what you do. I was actually looking back through some of the stuff that you've put out online. First of all, both of those songs are just absolutely wonderful, and there's some real themes that seem like they're going through both of them. And I want to get to that in a second, but just one of the things, whenever I see any of your stuff online, you use the tag dream-inspired folk.
Yes.
Correct.
And I'm wondering what you mean by that, because I think that there are so many word pictures in your songs that I'm wondering if there's a tie there.
There absolutely is. We got our start in actually writing songs from a workshop with Pete and Maura Kennedy, the Kennedys, on using lucid dreaming and meditation as inspiration for songwriting. And this was about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do some writing. I was kind of depressed. My dad had just passed away. Had no real expectation, and took this class, and 2 weeks in I had my first song. 3 weeks in, it's like I need to start figuring out how to play what I'm writing, and the songs just didn't stop.
Yep.
And Faith took the second round of that course that was offered, and
I started writing out of that as well. I mean, neither one of us, I think we had last written poetry in English classes in high school.
Wow.
So, yeah.
we'd both been singers all our lives.
Yeah.
So I grew up in New York City singing in the All-City Chorus and various other choruses, and in every major space in New York City, always singing other people's arrangements, secular and sacred music, but I wasn't playing instruments.
And I played piano in high school, and but I was in the senior choir, and I was singing harmony to everything on the radio, but wasn't really coming up with any of my own stuff. And then, thank you, Pete and Maura.
That's awesome.
Once we started writing, we picked up instruments,
and we have. I can't say that all of our songs are dream inspired, but we certainly have a fair number that came out of our
Yes.
dreams.
Well, I want to pick into, because the concept of actually using lucid dreaming as a tool is something I'd love to pick up, but we don't really have the time to get into that in depth. But I do want to get into, there's a theme that came in both of your songs, and it really does seem to how do we bridge the divides? And in particular, how do we find get past the label, get past the things that are going on around us to actually find the other? And I'm wondering if you chose those two songs consciously because of the alignment of themes.
Well, we kind of chose Solstice because it's the solstice.
Well, sure.
that one is, yeah.
but
And there was another song that we were considering that also has that feel to it of finding, finding the real human underneath. But that is something that we tend to try to do.
yeah.
And tell people stories so that you're not seeing them as a stereotype. You're seeing
Right.
as who they are.
When I was a kid, we were living in the Berkshires for a short time, and I was attacked because of my family's heritage. And with my parents not being anywhere around, I worked with the kids who attacked me and explained to them and taught them who I was instead of the label that their Sunday school teacher put on me. That was a life lesson that's really inspired a lot through my life and through my writing. Get to know people. If you work one-on-one with somebody, get to know them, you probably won't hate them.
Yep.
Really important. Dan and Faith, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mike, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Dan and Faith. And Dave Fiebert, I'm going to unmute you here. And let's talk briefly about where you play. I have it here somewhere, and there it is. He plays in media. What state is that in?
We're in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. He plays at the Epic Pizza,
Yep.
the Flash in Kennett Square,
Yep.
and also a place that I've heard other people that have been on here played at, the Kelly Center in Havertown.
Yeah.
All those
yeah, the
are
Kelly
places
Center.
you can go to hear Dave Fiebert. But
That's
right
a
now
nice
you
little-
get to hear him here.
That's quick. Well, I'm going to stay with the holiday theme. This one I wrote in 2020, and it's called Christmas Outside the Corner Bar. Hey, where you going? I'll play you a song. Cost you a whiskey, it's Christmas, come on. Some cheer for the season and everybody wins. I'll sing you two, the second one's free. If you don't like 'em, next drink's on me. Hey now, Santa says pony up for the ride. One drink for chestnut roasting, two and I'll sketch you some winter jazz. Three, I'll chase your Christmas blues away. Four, would make the best holiday I ever had. I bring you the season, that's what I do. It's cold out here, mister, love a whiskey from you, and a song will come right out of my heart. From Old Holy Night down to Nat King Cole, I played outside cathedrals, I will shake your lonesome soul. I know them all and I'll sing every one for you. One drink for chestnut roasting, two and I'll sketch you some winter jazz. Three, I'll chase your Christmas blues away. Four, would make the best holiday I ever had. If you drop in a 20, you're in for a thrill. I'll sing you the Hallelujah chorus solo, I can and I will. I'll sing till angels hark on Herald High. Now you're a tough sell, but you seem to be real. Maybe you'll learn at Christmas, so here's the deal. In the spirit of giving, reach in and take what you need. One drink for chestnut roasting, two and I'll sketch you some winter jazz. Three, I'll chase your Christmas blues away. Four, would make the best holiday I ever had.
Ah, Dave. Great.
Nice. Really good.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Crazy little piece of music. Anyway, I'm gonna head off to another season as soon as I get my tablet to do what I want it to do. I'm gonna head back one season to a song I call Fall. It's in here. Here we go. This is really sort of a children's song, but children of all ages. Spiders host a pumpkin roast as scarecrows gather gossamer leaves. With lanterns lit, they're on a trip to a land of make-believe. Witches chant to the sky, broomsticks whip up a squall. Ravens, wolves, and snakes unbar the gates. Hello, fall. Ghosts and bats exchange hats, an honored tradition for sure. Owls and phantoms weave strange anthems using fireflies as a lure. Candles flicker in the mist while black cats stretch and crawl. Shadow shades and moss lay patterned cloths. Hello, fall. Cauldrons start to steam with the sweet silly gleam, a feast of autumn's teas. Grapes and pies and figs and chocolate twigs bring skeletons to their knees. When chilly winds begin to blow, spirits laugh and call. Ravens, wolves, and snakes reseal the gates. Goodbye, fall. Goodbye, fall. There you have it.
Right.
Thank you.
So, let's see here. We're going to send you over to our wonderful interviewer, Mr. Chris Steele. Here you go.
Appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much for kind of modifying that. Dave, it's really good to hear you. That was just wonderful. And I'm just kind of thinking through that. Your style is, first of all, your songwriting is very visual, and I can kind of see that kind of coming through. And in particular, that first song, we'll come to the set, we'll come to Fall here in a second, just because there was just a beautiful picture that was painted with that. But the first one, there was a conversation that's going on there, and it seems very, very first person as you're talking to somebody else that's out there. And I'm wondering kind of how you got yourself into that mindset. It's a beautifully kind of set up conversation, and it's real road and life tired, but then also very supportive at the same time.
It's interesting you said that. I just started off with, hey, where are you going? So I just started off with a conversation. I figured people are walking by, and he's caught the eye of somebody, and he just starts in and and makes his case and says, I like to have a drink, and I'll play you a song. I'll play it too if you don't like it. I'll pay for your drink if you don't like it. So then it finally winds around to the fellow that he's talking with, that he finally collects is in more dire straits in himself, and so dip in, take what you need, and back to the chorus, and more traffic of people going by and trying to pick up another another person to talk to and win himself a drink. But it's a I don't know if it's a good Samaritan song, but it's just a sweet take of that kind of situation, I suppose.
Exactly, and very, very human at the same time. And I think it's beautiful. I'm wondering, just of the song. That I of course do what I do. I went ahead and poked around on the internet and found out a little bit more about some of your biography and things of that nature. And just in thinking of the songwriters that you say really kind of like inspired you. How did you learn to do that, or is it something that you just picked up as you wanted to do it this way?
I think I just wanted to do it this way. This song, I've talked on America, Open Mic America before. I've got a co-writer, but I think on this one, I think I wrote this one pretty much myself. I don't think he had a part in this one, but it just started to come in that direction, and it just sort of played itself out. So, but I like the visual aspects of songs, and and seeing things and using the senses when I can inside of a song. So sort of starts to connect that way. So, and it came through on that one.
Well, and just kind of on that, I'm very mindful. We get little guidance in terms of the amount of time we're supposed to do in interviews here. So I've got my little timer going in the background, but
That's
I'm going to
fine.
ignore mine here for a second, just because for Fall you did such a beautiful a word picture there, where I was picturing myself walking in the woods. And there again, is that something that you did collaboratively, or is that one that you did on your own?
Yeah, that one I came up with, and then I thought it was finished, and I sent it to my partner. He goes, "Whoa!" So, we sort of picked pieces of his and pieces of mine, and we used this, and we just sort of weaved it together, and that's what happened with that one. That one came pretty quickly. That was just fun. That was just a fun piece to work on.
It comes through.
Yeah.
It definitely comes
And
through.
I like the little chord changes, the little flippy things. It's sort of an old style of playing, so, and that I really enjoy.
Well, it really comes through. That joy is there, and the picture is there. Really, really beautiful stuff. But Dave, thank you so much. And I'm going to send you back to Mike, who I think is going to send us off temporarily in a different direction here.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, I almost always do. It's one of my faults. Hey, has anyone here heard the phrase associated with Open Mic America, free guitar? Well, you're going to hear it today, because today, Capo Dave Williams, the owner, operator, president, CEO, and builder of Dandy Guitars, Dandy Hybrid Guitars to be technical, is going to dip into a big bowl of names. And let's talk about that bowl. That bowl has the names of everyone who has ever staffed or during the last year has staffed or has performed on Open Mic America. And you can see there's a bunch of names in there. He's going to do that, and he'll also tell us a little bit more about the Dandy guitars. So Dave, I'm turning this over to you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay. Yeah, today is the drawing, and I'm very excited about that. I've really enjoyed developing this guitar, this design, over, I'm on my 45th build now, and my 5th year of doing it, and I've really enjoyed it. I enjoy building them, I enjoy playing them, and when I have an opportunity like this at a show, I always like to share a little bit about the internal, what's under the hood of the guitars and what they're all about. So in particular tonight, I happen to have number 45 that I'm building, and this is the what's under the hood of number 45. This is rosewood bridge support right here. But this is a way to demonstrate the fact that the Dandy Guitars soundboard, which this is a soundboard, unlike a flat top guitar, this soundboard has a 16-foot radius. It means it's a dome, right? A flat top guitar has a 30-foot radius. So what we're seeing here is a guitar that has nearly double the arc to the dome. And if I put the straight edge up on here, you can just see at the edges it's got a pretty good lift to it, and that's one of the things that contributes to the ability of the Dandy guitars to really project a lot of sound, and particularly I have to say it, the middle 4 strings. It's a very punchy guitar in the mid-range, and a lot of fun to play. And so, without further ado, I'm going to make the drawing. And I have a dilemma that the fishbowl is too small to let me fluff them. So I've got this pot, this empty pot, that I'm going to transfer them into. Okay. So I can properly fluff them up, right? For a handmade Dandy guitar. Okay, I've got one. The winner is Tom Cooney.
All right, Tom.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. He's a good guitar player. Be fun to watch him playing a dandy. And Mike Simpson plays dandy guitars. He's not going to play tonight, but it's always a real pleasure to see him play my guitars. Robert Edgar is playing my guitars, and Bet Paget. I'm sure a lot of you know who Bet Paget is. If you look at her breakfast show on Wednesdays, she usually plays a dandy guitar for most of the show now. So I'm proud of that. And
Don't forget Randy with Hallie Hammer.
Randy Burge, yeah, Randy Burge, that's right. He backs up, well, you know.
Hallie
Anyway,
Hammer.
Holly Hammer, yeah. Anyway, enough about that. I'll be notifying Chris. I'm sorry, notifying. I'm forgetful.
Tom
Believe
Cooney.
it, I forgot the guy's name.
Tom
Cooney.
Cooney.
Tom Cooney. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I look forward to the coming year, and the next dandy drawing will be of the second December show of 2026. So thanks a lot, and I'm going to turn this back over to Mike. Wait a minute. Okay. There we go.
I'm going to turn on my sound here. So next up, we have Jon Burrowes, and Jon Burrowes plays at the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance event, and also Heidi Hoskins' Cubism Cafe, or is it just Cubism? I don't know. Cafe events, and so let's go, Jon Burrowes.
Thanks very much. Yeah, Heidi's Cubism Cafe and the PASA events. So I want to show you a tune. I brought a couple of tunes to a workshop. I said, "Do you want the one with love in it or the one with mashed potatoes in it?" And they said, "Mashed potatoes." So this is the song with mashed potatoes in it. It's I think it got described at one point as a polka of existential. Suburban existential angst. So let's see if I can play it. In the land of mashed potatoes, there's a kid who sings this song. I don't care how much you love me, just help me put my wings back on. In the land of broken taillights, there's a mom, and she sings this song. I don't care how much you want me, just help me put my wings back on. Put 'em back on, tie 'em up high, then let me go and let me fly. In the land of knotted golf clubs, there's a dad, and he sings this song. I don't care how much I pay you, just help me put my wings back on. In the land of perfect people, there's a little dog, and he sings this song. I don't care who saves the planet, just help me put my wings back on. Put 'em back on, tie 'em up high, let me go and let me fly. Yeah, help me put my wings back on. Help me put my wings back on. Help me put my wings back on. Help me put them back on.
Hey, very nice, John.
Nice.
Thanks. So now I'd like to show you a tune called Step by Step, and I wrote it a long time ago and completely forgot it. A friend said, "Where's that tune?" And I had to rewrite it from scratch. And when I moved down to Philly, I played it, and people liked it. And I said, "Okay, well, let me see if I can polish it up." So let me just get organized here. Step by step, the toughest races run. Step by step, the longest march is won. Step by step, the impossible gets done. Step by step, every step of the way. I was alone out on the road, far from home and friends. Another 1,000 miles, where would my troubles end? I thought that I was lost, but then on my lowest day, I heard my grandma's voice, you know the way. Step by step, another page is turned. Step by step, another lesson learned. Step by step, our love and light return. Step by step, every step of the way. I stopped to get some food, but the highway store was closed. There was nothing else to do, so I walked on down the road. The night was coming on, it was cold outside. A car pulled up and they asked, "Do you need a ride?" Step by step, the road is not so long. Step by step, together we are strong. Step by step, we'll get where we belong. Step by step, every step of the way. Step by step, the toughest races run. Step by step, the longest march is won. Step by step, the impossible gets done. Step by step, every step of the way.
Right. Jon Burrowes, I'm going to have you get up here side by side with our interviewer, Chris Steele.
Very good.
Thanks, Mike. John, that was fantastic. First of all, I appreciate just the changes in genre that you're bringing there, or at least the tone. We have a little bit of a saying here at the house, whiplash radio, and you basically have pulled that off very, very nicely. First of all, I want everybody to know this is John's first time here with us at Open Mic America, and you have done a stellar debut here, sir. I wanted to just ask a little bit, that first song, you did something that I love to hear in songs, which is like a sardonic voice while also being hopeful at the same time. And I'm wondering if that was really intentional. It was just, I was picturing like a Donald Fagen, Steely Dan kind of an approach to that. And I'm wondering kind of where that song came from.
Thanks a lot. It actually came from a phrase that I thought I heard somebody else say. And I rushed up after their set and I said, did you say this? Because I loved it and I want to use it. And they said, no. So I said, great. And that was, help me put my wings back on. And as soon as I had that, I realized I had to start coming up with some examples of people that would like to have their wings put back on. And so that's where the little stories in the song come from.
It's really beautiful storytelling, as well as just the musical approach to it. It's just, again, back to back, those two songs have a very, very different feels. And I'm wondering, I looked again a little bit. You've been doing this for a little while. And I'm wondering how your songwriting has evolved and whether that's actually, if we just saw some of that evolution.
Sure. You sort of saw something later, kind of playing it almost like a polka, as I mentioned. That tempo just seemed to give it the life that it wanted. The other one, Step by Step, started out just as a march, a hymn, a gospel tune. And for whatever reason, it just seems to want to go a little quicker. So I played it a little quicker tonight. Step by Step, as I say, I wrote it a long time ago, and it was another one of those things. I think it was a phrase that I heard. I mean, Step by Step, there's quite a few songs with that title, but the idea, and this, it was just one of those dumb luck things. They just come quick. So, does that help?
It does a little bit. And I guess, I'll give you a little bit of a plug for something else. You're also a novelist, if I understand correctly. And I'm wondering how the two different creative paths, whether they intersect or influence each other in any way.
They definitely intersect, and they merge and mingle. I was a kind of an aspiring songwriter when I was a kid, and I got lucky and played in bands and wrote terrible little teenage songs. Guys played them anyway, which was really great. And then I stumbled into a job as a professional writer. I was a technical writer for a long time. And while I was writing stuff that I really couldn't put myself into, I certainly learned how to put sentences together and write clearer and tighter. And somebody at one of those jobs said, "Hey, there's this science fiction writing group. You should come along." And to make a long story short, I still see those guys. I'm going to see them next week. So that turned out to be fun. The novel is completely nuts. I wrote it 30 years ago. I was a completely different person. So, but one of the reasons I wrote the novel was because I wanted to try something different. The group was doing one thing, and I said, I want to try something else. So that's kind of what happened.
Well, I understand. The creative voice needs to be heard, or it needs to find its way. Well, Jon, thank you so much for joining here. I'm really excited to hear you again. And in the meantime, I'm going to hand us back to Mike and get on with our evening here a little bit.
Thanks again.
Here we go. Next up, and thank you, by the way, Jon. Welcome home. Next up, we have Pat Buckner. And he hosts monthly song circles at the Cranberry Hall and the Long Bay Hall in Powell River and on Texada Island. By the way, we're doing our longest journey here. We're going from Pennsylvania all the way to British Columbia here in this one here. Regular online presence at the Yosemite Songwriters Virtual Open Mic and Cowboy Rex online bunkhouse music session and the virtual Peninsula Arts Open Mic, Joel Isaac's Music Matters showcases, and the Old Folky Zoom. But you're not even old, Pat. Come on. Can't be doing that. All right, so I'm going to have you play now. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mike. Today's the kind of day, stick your fingers in the dirt, plant some seeds and a little bit of hope, get in touch with the earth, turn away from all the worry and fear, put your mind at rest. Today's that kind of day, today's the kind of day that you cherished as a child, twirling round, falling down and watching the clouds drift by, walking barefoot in the grass, never worried about the time. Today's that kind of day. Well, today's the kind of day my friend should call up and quit. Unhappy, he's tired, he's bored to death. His job's making him sick. It's time he planted a garden, left behind all his worry and fear. Today's that kind of day. Well, today's the kind of day that I'll put my mind at rest. Turn off the TV, forget about the news. I know it's for the best. I'll call my friend and remind him of all those barefoot times. Today's that kind of day. Yeah, today's the kind of day we'll go stick our fingers in the dirt. Yes, we'll plant some seeds, a little bit of hope, get in touch with the earth. We'll turn away from all the worry and fear, put our minds at rest. Today's that kind of day. Just turn away from all the worry and fear, put your minds at rest. Today's that kind of day.
Very nice, Ben. Very nice.
Really nice.
Beautiful.
There's a tune called Today I've Been Thinking. Today I've been thinking about the days that changed my life. A touch, a glance, a hunch, a dance, here by fate or just by chance. The days that changed my life. Today I've been wondering about those choices I made, decisions that changed my life. The words I said and where they led, what I could have done instead. The choices that changed my life. I could have done things different, perhaps. Would life be different today? All the wouldas and all the shouldas and all the mistakes that I made. Well, I changed directions more than once, set a new course for my life. After effects I could never have guessed, life-changing nevertheless, new directions that changed my life. But nothing would have turned out different. Life would be the same today. Forget all those wouldas, forget all those shouldas. Time to put the past away. There's no undoing what's long past, except that what's done is done. That touch, that glance, that hunch, that chance, you know they're all just part of the dance that's lasted my whole life long. That touch, the glance, the hunch, the chance, all a part of that great big dance that's lasted my whole life long.
Right, yeah, thank you for that. Here comes your interview with Chris Steele.
Oh, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, first of all, just that 175. That's not a 175. That definitely adds quite a voice to your playing there, and just again, there's just a really interesting dynamic between the two songs that you've got there. First thing I just want to point out, just with that first song, today is that kind of day where you were talking about putting your fingers in the dirt. I see with you're also a gardener as we go along here, and I'm wondering that kind of connection, that real connection with everyday things, how that affects, your perspective and your philosophy as you're kind of talking about the songs that you want to put out into the world.
Well, I've been writing a lot of songs looking at your country from my country,
Yeah.
and I decided it was time to sort of write something a little more hopeful, and that's where that song really came from, thinking about, you can sit down and wallow in it, you can sit down and be angry about it, but, maybe you just want to get back in touch, and that's kind of how I felt when I was writing that one.
Yeah, something that's very, very tangible and then also very constructive at the same time. I completely understand. Again, I'm flying my flag here for all my friends.
I see that. I
of
see
course.
that.
It's a little obvious, but that kind of tangible and that kind of hopeful building kind of construct is interesting. I want to kind of take that a little bit into the second song that you played, which is. It feels really introspective, and it's kind of teasing in its nature, and that it's consistently obliquely talking about the different things that have changed your life, but you never actually talk about that. I'm wondering if there was a context to the song itself, or if it was just kind of if you will, a kind of a retrospective and view of awe about how many different things can affect the directions that we take.
Well, it started off, I was thinking, looking back, on 75 years, there's only like 5 or 6 days in your life that really alter the course of your life. At least for me, that's what happened. I mean, 5 or 6 times only, things just veered off in a totally different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was writing my memoir, a few years ago, I had to look back, right way back to childhood and think about all the things that I did and the things that were done to me and the things that worked out and things that didn't. And you tend to get kind of dropped into that past and stuck in that past a little bit, particularly when you're trying to put it into a book. And I realized, since that what happened. There's no point sitting down and sort of trying to say, well, geez, we could have done this different. The shoulda, woulda, couldas. Let all that go and just sort of be here now, be here today. And that's the same way I feel about things, about looking at the future too. You just gotta kind of live in the now, and that's what sort of is what I'm driving at in this song, or trying to.
No, I completely understand, and I guess I'm wondering, again, that a couple of years, of experience beyond that, do you find yourself that you recognize those moments when you're coming to them now, when you're coming to those days?
Oh, you bet, and I kind of did at the time, but what you don't really recognize, or at least what I never saw, was the impact it would have on my life.
Mm-hmm.
And some were of my choosing. Many of them were of my choosing, but some of them weren't. Some of them were just that sort of collision, that happens, and all of a sudden, you're bouncing off in a totally different direction. And sometimes that's a really good thing, and sometimes it's a really awful thing. I've had a few of those too. We all do.
Well, there's the old saying, which is basically judgment comes from wisdom, wisdom comes from bad judgment. Yes, I understand.
You bet.
Well, Pat, thank you so much. It was absolutely wonderful tunes, and I look forward to hearing more of your stuff. And with that, I'm going to hand this back over to Mike and see who we've got next.
All right, thank you, Chris. You know, Pat, always great to hear you. It's always lovely. And we have next Cowboy Bob Uvello, who comes to us from Massachusetts, from Boston, Massachusetts, in fact. And I'm looking here desperately. Oh, no, that's right. We're going to have him do this verbally. What are your open mics that you go to, Bob?
Lately, I've been taking a break from performing live, hoping to put the energy towards a new album. We'll see how that goes. And still doing a couple of virtual open mics. This one, which I always enjoy very much, and one called the Catbird Cafe, and occasionally another one or two, but that's pretty much where things are at the moment.
All right. Well, Bob, you're up. Play for us.
Okay, this first song, it's called The Fallen. It's fairly long, and I'll talk about it afterwards with Chris. My name is Billy Darby. I died in 1918, fighting in the spring offensive, the Battle of Cantigny. I came from Kansas. It was my dream to one day be a farmer, till a rich dark soil. But my blood mixed with the mud on the far-off fields of France. How I prayed it was not in vain. Now the country I died for has been torn asunder. This time red and blue, still I lie here under this cold ground, as morning breaks on the monuments at Arlington. My name is Salmano. I died in the year of 44. We stormed the shores of Normandy. It was the last sunrise I would ever know. I came from Brooklyn. It was my dream to one day be a tailor, like my father and his before. But my blood turned seafoam red on the rocky coast of Normandy. How I prayed it was not in vain. Now the country I died for has been torn asunder. This time red and blue, still I lie here under this cold ground, as twilight falls on the monuments at Arlington. My name's Jose Estrella. I died in 1966. Operation they called Marauder on the shores of the Mekong Delta. Came from California. was my dream to one day be a father and an American. But my blood flowed into the waters of the muddy Mekong, mother of all rivers. Now I pray it was not in vain. Now the country I died for has been torn asunder. This time red and blue, still I lie here under this cold ground as moonlight shines on the monuments at Arlington. My name is Leroy Richmond. I died in the year of 2010. Tripped a roadside bomb west of Kandahar in a province that's known as Helmand. I came from Alabama. Was my dream to one day be a lawyer, to defend my brothers. But my blood seeped into the sand of a foreign land called Afghanistan. Now I pray it was not in vain. Now the country I died for has been torn asunder. This time red and blue, still I lie here under this cold ground as a sad wind moans through the monuments at Arlington. The sad wind cries for the silent souls at Arlington.
Wow.
Wow.
Whew. Thank you. Thank you. That one never fails to take a lot out of me. So this, I'm going to couple it with this next one, which is probably the shortest song I've ever written. I thought that would be the right thing to do. This is also my most recent song, and it's called 10 Miles West of Everywhere. And I'm going to do a little tuning before I get into that. Okay, 10 miles west of everywhere. something just I don't even know. I don't even know what that was. Take two, sorry, but I would apologize if I knew what the hell happened. Once was Arizona. There once was New Mexico. For a little while I had Montana. If it's still there, I might go. Feel the wind blow, in other blow. All the way to old Mexico. There once was Arizona. There once was New Mexico. For a little while I had Montana. If it's still there, I might go. Feel the wind blow, know the blow. All the way to old Mexico. Mexico.
Beautiful.
Great.
Hey there, Chris Steele. Want to give Bob an interview here?
I could definitely do that. I could definitely do that. Bob, I'm going to defy what I want to do here, and I'm going to ask you about the second song first. Just, 10 miles west of everywhere, there's such a feel to that in terms of just loneliness and wandering. And I'm wondering how you get yourself in that mindset. Just particular, you and I are probably miles up the street from each other here in Massachusetts. And I've been in those places too, and I can picture that. And I'm wondering how you get yourself in that mindset.
And I truly do not mean to be glib. It's more a question of how I get myself out of that mindset.
Well, it's clear. I mean, there's such a sense of place in so much of your writing that I've heard you do over the years here, and it's really, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, and it kind of comes up in that first song as well, for the stories of each of the men that gave their lives for this country, that where we are now seeing such division. to tell their stories individually and to tell of their dreams and how they were snatched out of their lives into something that was much larger than themselves. What was what was the actual genesis of that song? Where did you get that from?
So, great questions. So first of all, those are 4 true stories. I added the names. I wanted. I hope it's obvious. I don't know if it is, but I wanted to represent the various ethnicities. There's the Vietnam War person was Hispanic. I think it comes through that the final one was African American. I chose a British sounding name for the first one, and then an Italian for the second one. So I chose the names, but I actually researched it. I did a lot of reading, and I found these stories about individual people. And I thought that for me, the thing that I hope makes it powerful is the fact that there are these little life stories. And the second guy, his dream was to be a tailor, not a magnificent dream, but his father and his father before him, that was his dream. And then I don't do a lot of political writing. I've done some, and more often than not, I don't feel as though it's my best stuff. But that song is an exception for me. I really do. And I guess the last thing I'll say about it is it almost seems impossible at this point in time, but I've not completely given up hope, and it's an attempt to try to state the way things are objectively without putting anyone down, and just trying to remind people that this is our shared heritage, regardless of where you feel you are right now on the spectrum.
Bob, I think that comes through very, very clear. It's, these are our neighbors, these are our brothers that we're really talking about in this song, and it comes through very, very clearly. It's very, very human, and again, they're plucked out of their lives, and their souls are thrown in a completely different direction. I guess a little bit of the question I have, just first of all, musically, how you have done this is beautiful. Did you have a vision going into it that you wanted to have such a dramatic ending of like the bells at the end, of just basically an open field with the bells?
Thank you for so much for recognizing those as bells. I was wondering, that song, I wrote that song, boy, I guess it's getting along towards 8 years ago now, or 8 or 9 years, something like that. And I just wrote that instrumental ending a week or so ago. And but that is what I intended. I intended it to be bells for each of the 4, and to just fade out like that. And so thank you for recognizing it.
It's very, very clear and beautifully done. But Bob, thank you again. I always love hearing your stuff when we're together on the Zoom here for this call, for this session, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks so much, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Chris. Thank you very much. Well, we've come down around to it here. We have our final performer for the year 2025, and I'm delighted to tell you that it's Bunny Barnes. I'm going to unmute her here, and then she's going to let us in on the secret of where she plays. What kind of open mics and virtual open mics do you play at, Bunny?
I only do virtual open mics. Philly Folk Fest open mic, Music Makers by Annie Phillips, Joe Isaacs, I do his, the Music Matters, and sometimes the Catbird as well.
Okay. Hey, Bunny, can I ask you for some?
Sure.
Are you on one microphone that you're playing into?
I am on a Focusrite.
Can you turn up your overall volume a little bit for us?
How's that?
That's better, thank you.
So I won't be singing. I'll only use the mic for speaking anyway. I'm an instrumental fingerstyle guitarist. So I will introduce them though. I have to say I'm thrilled. The music tonight's been wonderful. And I'm thrilled not to hear holiday songs because I want to apologize for being late because I was playing a 4-hour winery gig, and that's all I played for 4 hours were holiday tunes. So it's delightful to come in here and hear other things. It's really lovely. So, and I had to scour YouTube to find out what I had done for you the last time I was here. I don't write a whole lot of instrumentals, originals I should say. I arrange a whole lot, but I wanted to do a couple of mine and make sure that I hadn't done them here before. So this first one for you is called Sally's Carousel. I wrote it for a friend who had Parkinson's disease, and she loved horses, and she wanted every extraordinary measure that she possibly could have to stay around long enough to see her grandchildren and her daughter. And I kept thinking of her going from the hospital to the nursing home and the hospital back and forth and back and forth. And the fact that she loved horses reminded me of a carousel with her going back and forth. I have a carousel horse on my porch. It's a rocking horse. And every time I looked at it, I would think of her. And so I wrote this with her in mind, and it's called Sally's Carousel.
Lovely, lovely.
Absolutely do.
I do want to say, you couldn't have had your guitar go to a nicer guy. Tom Cooney is an amazing person and guitarist. So yeah. This one I wrote for my honey. He was on hospice when I started writing it. He passed away about 15 months ago. And he heard the introduction to it. He had a phrase that he would say to me, Wings of Angels, when I was flying off to Tommy Emmanuel's guitar camp or some other guitar camp. He would always say, Wings of Angels, fly with Wings of Angels, so I would get there safely. And the second part I wrote shortly after he passed. And then I went off to Tommy Emmanuel's camp, and I played it for a friend of mine, and she said, wow, does it have a name? I said, well, or any words? I said, I paint the picture with my music. And it has one line, Wings of Angels, carry me to Neverland, carry me so far away. And I said, but I don't think it's finished yet. I think there's another section. And I went back to my room, and I wrote another section. And the next day I wrangled up Tommy and I said, hey, I wrote a new song. He said, well, let's hear it. So I played it for him, and he said, wow, that's not like anything you've written before. I said, I know. I don't think I wrote it. I think Stephen wrote it and sent it to me. So I was getting ready to get on the plane, and I was very nervous. And the reason I said Neverland, Wings of Angels Carry Me to Neverland, was on my first CD, it was all covers, and one of the covers that I did was Never Neverland, which is the theme to Peter Pan, and I dedicated it to my very own Peter Pan. And when I was getting on the plane, I was feeling very nervous, and I sent Tommy a text, and I said, I'm really nervous, and he got it right away, and he wrote back, fly with Wings of Angels, Bunny. I was feeling a little bit better. I was getting on the plane, and I had my iPad all queued up to watch a Prime Video movie. And I sat down in my seat, and I put my earbuds in, and Never Neverland was playing. And I took that as a sign that Stephen was trying to say to me, Wings of Angels. So here's Wings of Angels. Wings of Angels.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Chris Steele's gonna give you your interview right now.
Bunny, those were both absolutely beautiful. And I love how you use the guitar as the voice, not just for yourself, but of the people that you've written these songs either for or about. I just, first of all, I want to acknowledge you. Just, I've read through some of your stuff and I understand why you're not using your voice. And I'm wondering how, did you go through a conscious process of actually, thinking of how the guitar could be your voice from that point forward?
When I got cancer, I was very angry.
Yeah.
And I had 5 surgeries on my vocal cords in 2.5 years. And I was really ready to take the guitar and smash it against the nearest tree. Because I was a singer and guitarist. I was also a German teacher for many years. And I was angry. And the only thing I could listen to, because I couldn't listen to singers, it was depressing to me to listen to a singer, to hear things that I used to be able to sing and I couldn't anymore. And so I started listening to Tommy Emmanuel, who really didn't sing a whole lot. And he let his guitar be his voice. And I started listening to him, and I wrote him a letter. And 3 days later, amazing person that he is, he called me. And he said, "Don't give up. Let the guitar be your voice, and I want to hear you play when I'm in town in 6 months." And so I started working on his tunes and just learning his material and learning instrumentals. And when he got to town, I played for him, and he was so gracious and gave me pointers. And for years in there, I did my own arrangements of covers because I was playing restaurants, and restaurants they don't want to hear originals usually. They want to hear covers that they know, and I was letting the guitar be my voice, and so they knew every song that I was playing because they could hear the melody. And he's given me so many tips on letting the melody ring and letting that with the bass and the chords just ring out. And recently, within the last, since 2019, I guess, I started writing my own tunes. When something happened in my life that I either a melody popped in my head that I needed to write down, like I was coming back from a camp and something popped in my head, or there's one that I wrote for my husband when he fell on I was coming home from a trip, and I wrote, "Never go away, always be by my side," and just transferred that onto my guitar, and letting my guitar be my voice. It saved my life and healed my soul.
It's really remarkable. I was watching you, frankly, with envy, as I was watching you with that fretboard. You bring so many different techniques to the song, to evoke the voice, to be able to tell the story, and it's really, really remarkably done. And I'm thinking both of those songs were very, very personal, almost conversations with the two. Your friend that had Parkinson's. I have a very dear friend of mine who is late stages Parkinson's at this point, so I understand what that journey is like. How do you? It's as if either I can picture these as like themes as that might be playing as you're having conversations with them, or in fact voices of them themselves. How do you? It sounds like the melodies come to you, but how conscious are you of like finding their personality in the melody?
Well, they do just come to me mostly, but I think that through having conversations with them, is where I internalize their energy and their feelings and their voices that come through me. I'm just like I'm a vessel, that they come through me and come out my guitar.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful, and I can only imagine what getting the phone call from Tommy Emmanuel must have been like. That's wonderful.
He's a very amazing man and a good friend now, and I owe him
That's
my life.
really remarkable. That's great. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing that music with us, and I look forward to hearing you again.
I look forward to being here again.
Thank you. And then, Mike, back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris Steele, for all your interviewing that you've done for us. That's lovely stuff. I'm very grateful to you for doing it. Capo Dave Williams, we always like to thank you at the end of this show. Capo Dave again, dandyhybridguitars.com, and check them out. I'd like to, excuse me, hello. Thank all of our performers, one by one here. Hank Stone, and performers you can wave. Mav Asya, Dan and Faith, Dave Fiebert, Jon Burrowes, Pat Buckner, Cowboy Bob Uvello, and Bunny Barnes. Thank you all so much for what you did for us tonight. And make sure that you check out the website, openmicamerica.com. That links all the music of the OMA performers, and you can find the archives of all the shows there. So if you like this show, please spread the word. This is not supposed to be a secret. We want you to tell everyone. Tell your grandma, you know. You can even download and print your own posters from our website and hang them somewhere where folks can see them. Or if you can find a way to post them on social media, that's great too. You can also get, I don't see anyone wearing one, you can also get a t-shirt through openmicamerica.com, and it's a very attractive t-shirt. It has our logo on it. Please check out all of your local and virtual open mics. We have listed the ones where our performers play under the Local Open Mics tab on the Open Mic America website. Let's play here virtually, but if you can, get out there and go live. It's always a lot of fun. We are always here the first and third Sundays of every month. So our next show will be Sunday, January 4th, same time, same station. Stay tuned for the next full lineup of the performers on that, and that again will be found on openmicamerica.com. All right, let's see, anything else? All right, the audience on YouTube, thank you very much. It's always great to know that we have an audience that's nation and sometimes even more wide. And I'm going to have everybody here mute themselves, please, and wave as a group. And then I end the last one of this year by saying, good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.